Floyd with Pearls of Wisdom. And my scripture today is found in Genesis 8:22. While the earth remaineth, seed, time, and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Now I'm going to talk about seed today. What is your seed? You know, there's seed and time. When you plant your seed, it doesn't always grow up immediately. When a farmer plants, he has to wait for the time for it to grow and harvest. Your seed is anything you have received from God that you can sow with someone else. It can be love, time, patience, mercy, kindness, money, prayer, intercession, food, anything like that. Everything you have was given to you by God. Let's think of that. Everything you have was given to you by God. Your entire paycheck comes from God. Your eyesight came from God. Your hearing came from God. Your health came from God. You know, let's give back the 10% that belongs to the storehouse, to bring into my storehouse that there may be meat in my house. Let's cheerfully give back that 10% that belongs in the storehouse and be a giver so that God can start blessing us like He wants to. You know, a seed of nothing guarantees a season of nothing. So if you're sowing nothing, guess what? You're going to have a season of nothing. And you say, well, I don't believe in that. Well, guess what? You're going to have a whole season of I don't believe in that. Your giving means you have broken greed in your life. So if you want to start giving, that is a good sign. Every seed contains an invisible instruction. The watermelon seed follows the instruction and produces more watermelon. There's an instruction in that seed that produces more watermelon. The tomato seed, there's an instruction in there and it produces more tomatoes. Everything produces, every seed produces. You know, if what's in your hand won't meet your need, then it's your seed. When my husband and I pastored for 12 and a half years, and at one time the church was not really producing what it needed to be, and we decided just to go on a love offering basis only. And sometimes we were not receiving sufficient to even buy groceries. And I just wrote out a list one weekend, and I said, Lord, I need this many groceries in the house. And I just laid it before the Lord. And I said, I believe you for them. And that Sunday, one of the ladies in the church, she said, Pastor Donna, she said, I just quit my job and I'm going to another job. It's a better job, makes more money. But she said, I just received this last paycheck. It's not a full paycheck. It's just 2 or 3 days. And she said, the Lord instructed me to give you this check. And I looked at her and I said, I can't take that. Oh, she said, you can. You're not going to rob me of my blessing from God. Oh, yes, you're taking this check. I went and I used it, and it was the exact amount of money to pay for the groceries that I had written out. You know, God will take care of us in every situation. That was her seed. It was not enough to meet her need. It was not enough. It was only two days, I think, of work, and she knew that it was not enough. And God had spoke to her to give it to me, but it was exactly what I needed to meet my need. So if you will start planting your seed, God will meet your need. God met her need with a better job. So let's start giving seed and tithe and see what God would do in your life. This is Donna Floyd with Pearls of Wisdom.